I'll make one thing perfectly clear. I hate Bakugo. I don't understand why people like him. I don't understand why people do like him. And I hate the fact that he actually works so very well in the manga. He's a bully, he's a jerk, and he is a complete, well, anti-hero. But the surprising thing is all those elements he has works extremely well in this scenario because that in a way makes him the only sane hero, and that makes me sick to my stomach. Why does a true hero or a hero really have to be so real? Because he just points out the fact that not everybody can be so unreal like All Might is. So, as much as I hate him, what he says in this manga chapter is completely true. And I do not hate what happens when the friends arrive. No, I love that. But this is nothing else. But this is many things of it all. Yes, this is me, the angry and offended despair reviewer. I technically only mostly just review Eden Zero, but every now and again I do a special chapter of any of the other one, and this one was a special chapter. We finally go back to UA students and find out what they have been up to ever since Deku left that note. And Bakugo, very predictably, of course, rips it into shreds. I knew he would do that. And they all actually begin to talk of how Deku was becoming like that. And the fact that Bakugo, despite hating Deku and everything else, he knows Deku more than anyone else. Another reason why I really hate Baku. I cannot understand if he cares for Deku or if he just hates him or if he's just jealous of him. Yes, that second fight against them did clear some things up, but I still don't understand. So he knows that he is with the three top heroes, but the top heroes are, well, are MIA. Well, they're not exactly talking. It also turns out that for some reason, well, actually not for some reasons, unsurprisingly, the classes of UA has actually been suspended. Meaning that right now UA is just a safe haven, which means that Shinso is not joining the class anytime soon. And, well, anything else would matter. The fact that, and here is the thing that I really hate most about Baku, but at the same time, he is also spoken of the truth. As Emani has said, Deku going on his own and doing all this stuff is not good. He is playing right into All for One's hands. He's pushing himself mentally, physically, and he's becoming the exact opposite of what he's supposed to be. That's what I despise. Deku was supposed to be the ideal hero, not the hero that falls to a villain's schemes. And why is it that Bakugo is the bully is supposed to be the sane one? But again, I guess that makes sense because he is the bully and the arrogant one. That makes sense that he is not like Deku because in a way, Deku's way is actually very psychologically damaged, and that what makes this all the more appealing. In normal media, what Deku did should be considered the greatest heroic thing. But since My Hero Academia plays a lot with the real life themes, what Deku is doing now is psychologically bad. And that is that we know he left UA to protect the students, and he wants to smile with others. Yes, we get that. But the fact is, this is the worst case scenario because they don't care about anything. They care about everything, but not themselves. And that's what I hate the most about this. But it's true. And that is, a hero cannot just care for everything but themselves. Because in this world of My Hero Academia, you have to care a little bit more about yourself also. Yes, some heroes that quit, they perhaps cared more about themselves than they did the other situation. But Deku don't care on how much damage he takes. He will still win, or he will still save someone. But in the world of My Hero Academia, that is actually more portrayed like a bad situation because for many that is considered insane. And what Deku is doing, and when Deku is doing this right here now, it's become insane because All for One knows exactly how to manipulate that. So they need to find him. So Uchako, who is, I wonder if her hair has gotten slightly longer. She's also more serious. Finds a way to do it all, and that is that since Endeavor was an alumni of UA, the pre-teacher calls Endeavor, and the class A confronts him. All the while saying that Shoto first says that we promised to stop Toya together. But then, and why is Deku the one doing that? And it's during this point that Bakugo, in a rare moment of, well, it's not exactly genuine emotion, it's still the abusive things, but is he's pointing out everything what we just said. That with Deku never taking himself into account and always saying that he's fine, and the fact that All Might have the same mindset, them working together with doing all that is not going well. That it's only going to do bad. And as we have seen in these last couple of chapters, that is just playing right into All for One's hands. And and Endeavor once again has a face that shows that he has failed, because he thinks back when the Hawks realizes that Deku cut off contact with All for One Night as well. Giving up and realizing once again that he has failed, he takes out the GPS and the rest of the gang captured it. And in a heart-warming moment, everyone actually says that they want to help Deku. You know, I thought they would actually be mad at him for hiding the fact that he had All for One. I mean, granted, they may still do that. But the thing is, every single one of UA in this scene, at least, says that they don't care that he had the quirk of All Might. What they care about is playing with their hands, and they blame themselves for not realizing sooner that he had One for All, and it was a shock, and that they, no matter the burden, Deku is their friend, and they cannot smile into the future if their friend is not smiling alongside them, which creates a very neat situation, because this is just what All for One cannot predict. Yes, or maybe he can predict, but not what he can expect. And that is friends. As we've said so many times before, everything has been leading up to this. It was clear from the beginning when Deku began to get more psychologically damaged that the only ones that can save him are his friends. Because they are the ones that understand him. Yes, maybe Bakugo understands Deku the most, and that pisses me off. But they are all. But Deku is also. But another thing that is making Deku a little bit flawed is that sometimes he can be selfish, and that it's a selfishness, so to speak. And that is, he wants to save everyone and take care of everyone's problems, but he does not care if the problems are on him, because he doesn't matter. I know that feeling. That's probably why I can relate to Deku a lot. Always worrying about others and not yourself, but unfortunately that is still an imposter syndrome that's very damaging to another's mind. So this plays very well in this scenario. So, and the fact that he doesn't share this burden with his friends is a little bit selfish, because he feels like this is his burden, this is his curse, and this is what he can do. He cannot expect other people who does not have this kind of quirk, not have this kind of path, to take this responsibility. He cannot allow them to die on a path that he has been foreset on, because he has been foreset on this path. Therefore, he must shoulder it alone. That's what Deku feels. But his friends here are true heroes, saying it doesn't matter what path you have taken. We will take that path too, together. And that is the only thing that can save Deku. And even the principal says that despite him leaving, he can actually come back. So, to UA, and can be protected. We even see Ochako when she was actually got a clue on when she was doing that thing. And here's the thing that actually gives me a little bit concerned. Nezu is saying that Deku can come back and become under UA protection. But as Endeavor asked, isn't that dangerous for civilians? However, Nezu is adamant saying that a proper evacuation shelter has been set, and also that now is the perfect way to take on the UA barrier that actually has been fortified since the school festival. But why do I have a feeling like this is all set up like a very big despair? Again, this so-called traitor hasn't even been brought up yet. And that makes me pissed off. I don't even want it to be a traitor, but what I mean is, Nezu is very, very adamant that even if Deku, the one who's been pursued by the all-powerful All for One and his assassins, can be safe in UA because of the defense system, But why do I have a feeling that is also played right into All for One's hands? Because again, if he has a traitor, a spy in UA, that spy just has to disconnect everything. Or is Deku being brought back to UA finally gonna clear up if there is a traitor? I mean, at this point, what if Nezu were the traitor? But his inner monologue suggests that he is not. So yeah, yes, saying Nezu's confidence that the protection is there, but I'm skeptic, and that is only because of despair. So they will wonder, can they bring Deku back? As the civilians as the villain as the heroes, no, sorry, civilians leave back to the present. Deku still rises up and takes on his mask, looking more ragged than ever, as Uchako and everyone else says that they are worried about him. As just as the Baku predicted, he says he's fine. But as Bakugo shows his jerk-ass behavior and then says that you cannot even smile right now. And even so, Deku keep on having his madness mantra that those smiles are everyone's peace of mind. Those what I need to keep going. So in a very, very raw picture, mind you, in a picture that truly shows just how villainous Deku look right now, with ragged clothing, with with practically look like ragged claws, a ragged scarf that is almost shaped like a deranged smile, and a mask. I mean, Deku has never looked more beastly than now. His costume was dorky until before, but this time, yeah, this is truly the deepest level of danger that Deku's costume has ever been in. He just says to everyone to get out of his way, which is also not something that Deku would say to his friends. Again, something that pisses me off. It was Deku who was supposed to value teamwork, not Bakugo. The fact that those things are reversed pisses me off so greatly. Because I hate subverted tropes. It's one of the reasons why I hate Hunter x Hunter. But it's also meant to contrast again that as much as anti-heroic, jerkashi, and bullying that Baku is, he has a lot more of a sane mind than some heroes do, and that what makes him even so a practically ideal hero. Again, it pisses me off, but it makes sense. And Deku's saving everyone but himself mentality is damaging to his psyche, and this is showing it deeper of a level of it all. Is not, and that is also pissing me off, but it also makes sense. So yeah, a lot of things happening. Even so, the friends are not backing down with Deku's demand, as Baku calls him an all-might wannabe, and Uchako and Iria says that we will stand strong. It's friends versus friend. Can they win? Well, they must win, because it's the only way to bring back sense into Deku. But the thing is, though, this is probably again, I think this is the only thing that All for One is not predicting. Yes, he knows everything about emotions, and but he knows how to hurt Deku, and to hurt Deku means to use his friends against him. But he does not understand that his friends are willing to do this thing all. Even if they bring back his friends, All for One will probably use that moment to hurt them to see that Deku, you let down your guard and this has happened. But I think his friends in this fight will show that it doesn't matter if they are not him. They can take care of themselves. And even if they can't, that is just what a hero is supposed to do. They're supposed to show them many things more. And this probably will push Deku to the biggest brink ever. Yes, he's already on the brink and already exhausted, but what I mean is losing himself completely. Because again, Deku is not Deku anymore. He is losing his principles. Even though he's still fighting for the good of everything else, he's not realizing that the damage thing that he's doing is not for is playing right into All for One's hands. Therefore, it is not for everyone's sake, which makes this scene more powerful. And that probably is going to make him more bestial, more robotic, and perhaps even angry, maybe even throwing out some insults that he has kept inside for a very long time. Either way, it's a scenario that I was actually looking forward to happen. I really hope, though, that it's Chaco, not Bakugo, that managed to get the final blow and snap out Deku. And I really hope that this will actually not be in All for One's hands. We need hope, damn it. Give me some goddamn hope. And give me your faults if you have any.